Right here, I have 6 of the best underwater scooters that you can get your hands on. Some of them will give you hours and hours of fun. We've been having that while testing these, both in the pool and doing battery tests and so on. And some of them are just so bad that you should stay far away from them. To find out, well, let's dive in. Hey, it's Torben here from DIVEIN, the channel that will bring you the best reviews of scuba gear and water toys. We've been doing an in-depth review of all of these underwater scooters to help you find out which of them are the best. And in this video, we'll highlight 6 of the best underwater scooters. We've been putting them through the test in a 25-meter pool with me, a quite large person, swimming back and forth. My son Carl, at the age of 10, has been doing laps as well, and then I've been doing that in full scuba gear. And of course, we've been doing a battery test as well. Whether your kids want to play in the pool, if you're an adult wanting to use this one for snorkeling or just playing in the pool as well, or if you're a scuba diver looking for your next or your first underwater scooter, this video will help you. And at the end of the video, I'll give you my trick on how to fly with these ones. So if you are bringing them on a plane, I want you to stick to the end, because there will be at some point like a tip on how you fly with them, so the TSA agents don't confiscate them at the check-in or saying the battery is too large, because some of them are flyable, some of them are not, but you have to make sure you do it in the right way. Have you ever wondered how we capture all the underwater videos here at DIVEIN.com, from crystal clear shots of marine life to, smooth testing of the underwater scooters? Well, to be honest, most of it is done with our phones. That's right, this video as well is shot with an iPhone as well. And thanks to this video sponsor, DiveWalk, which creates underwater housings for iPhones and Androids alike. Now it's actually possible for us to bring our phones underwater and use them for that shooting as well. We got them to give away one of the underwater housings so you can try it as well. So at some point in this video, I'll let you know how you can get your hands on one of these underwater housings. Now let's get back to the review. I want to tell you a bit of how we tested, because that will help you understand the things I'm going through in this video. So for this test, we wanted to make it as consist as possible, so we did all the testing in a swimming pool. I am a rather large person. I am 220 pounds, I'm 95 kilos. I'm 6'5", so 198 centimeters tall. Carl, my son, who was with us when we were testing, he's 10 years old. He's weighing around 90 pounds, 40 kilos. And then I did the test as well in full scuba gear. We didn't weigh that, but that's me plus a tank, plus some weights, plus the scuba unit as well. And that's weight-wise larger, but also in terms of how much drag there is on this unit. For accuracy as well, there is some places where we can get some inaccuracies, and that is we did start and end as timed in, so someone would be counting down 3, 2, 1, 1, we started going. But there might be a small delay from go until we hit that throttle. That's of course a thing. And then from touching in on the bottom, we didn't want to bang in the scooters at the end, so we actually had a hand on. And this of course can give us slight uneven results on some of them. Therefore we did the test multiples, and then we took the best time we could actually get on this. Then there's also some of the underwater scooters. Once you hit the throttle, the scooter is at max speed straight away. And some of them took some time speeding up. But since we did it from a standstill to start, the ones that take some time speeding up will have a downside in terms of the times. Once we get to those, I'll let you know. But it do also affect the use of it. If you are playing around in a pool or free diving, that speeding up will slow down the whole experience. If you're going to be diving down and it has to speed up, it will take some time before you actually start getting pushed down by it. So it is a downside of the underwater scooter that is not powering up straight away. For the battery test, we ran all the units in a tub running at full speed. Now we did this to get that because I do think that most people will be running them at full speed most of the times. All the brands have battery tests done and they list the times, and they list a quite high number. We got quite far from that, often 50% battery time of what they're seeing, but that's because we're running full speed and they're definitely not running full speed when they're doing their test. You can compare ours to theirs and then you get an average of what the battery will do. Our test was run full speed to help you understand how far you can actually get measured with the speed that we've been measuring and how long time you will be running, and then you have that distance to put into mind. So that was the whole premises of how we tested. I hope that gives a bit of context. Now let's dive in and take a look at the first underwater scooter. Let's take a look at the first underwater scooter in this guide. The LEFEET P1 is a compact, versatile option with 4 speed settings, a really compact design, so it's packing a lot of speed speaking of speed, I'll come into the test results in just a bit. Now let's just talk about what this one can do, what makes this one special. The LEFEET P1, packable, versatile. You have a one rail option, so a one scooter, or you can even mount two scooters at once. You can also get leg options, you can get one-handed options, you can even get a sub kayak mount, you name it. There's so many different options of controlling the LEFEET. It's packable as well, which means you can take the battery apart. It takes up around this much. Then you have the unit, battery, and then you can take off the rails here as well. So rails coming off, and even the handles come off the rails like this, which means it's really easy to pack down and simple as you want. The unit itself is controlled via the handle here. So you do a wireless connection from here to the unit. You control the underwater scooter here with your index finger. So this is basically the speeder of the scooter. And out here, you both turn off the handle, on and off the handle, and you also control the speed settings. So a thumb down here will change speed settings going from 1 to 4. And then after 4, we'll go back to 1, going around like that. And then there's a battery indicator showing how much battery you have left. Same as you know from the phone, nice battery icon. So that's how the LEFEET S1 works. All in all, a standard compact system. Real quick about the charging as well. You put a small charging pad on here, and then you attach your USB-C, and there's a small battery index here at the top, so easy to charge as well. Now let's take a look at how this one did in our test. The LEFEET claims that the top speed of this one is 7.2 kilometers an hour, and in our test, I managed a 25-meter lap in 23.7 seconds, giving that a speed of 3.8 kilometers an hour. Carl, he blazed through this one in 19.7 seconds, giving him speeds of 4.6 kilometers an hour. And with scuba gear, I managed to do just under 40 seconds, giving that a speed of 2.3 kilometers an hour. The battery lasted just over 24 minutes, so quite far from the 60-minute mark the company promised. And after speeding down, we still had 6 minutes left running until we got back to shore. Still 24 minutes and a speed that is pulling me around, making this one of the best underwater scooters that we have tested, if not the best, in terms of how well the package is. The P1, as I just mentioned, can also be configured as a double scooter. We did the test for double scooters as well, but not to mix too much around, some of the other scooters are doing double as well. So I'll come into the results of the double scooters later in the video. So if you want to see that one, stick around to the end. If all the speeds here are making you a bit confused as well, I will at some point share up the stats on the screen, or at the bottom you can drop your comment and I will send you a link where you can get all of the specs of this so you can compare yourself before doing the actual purchase of an underwater scooter. The P1, it's fast, it's running for a long time, and there's a lot of options for customizing it. All in all, really great product. We have an in-depth review up, and we're going to be updating with the new speed data as well coming out. So remember to subscribe to this channel so you can see all the videos coming out with all of the underwater scooters. Now, let me tell you why I think DIVEIN is such a game changer. Unlike traditional housings with limited controls on the phones, DIVEIN will give you full access to your phone's touchscreen while you're underwater. That means you can open Fish ID apps that will tell you which fish or animal you're seeing underwater. You can open your notes and do notes or write notes, or even use that to communicate underwater. And that's something we use a lot here at DIVEIN. Or most importantly, you can use your phone's built-in native camera app, which is, let's face it, much better than most other cameras are. And that's also why you're bringing your phone as a camera almost everywhere you go. I know, at least I am, using my phone as a camera much more than I ever used a standard camera. DIVEIN is the only housing that works with both iPhone and Android and lets you use your full touchscreen functionalities underwater. And on top of that, you can see all of the accessories here. There's so many options to go for. You can get a tray, attached lights to it, or you can get a rip filter that flips in front of the camera, or you can get dome parts, wide angle lenses, macro lenses. With all of these accessories, DIVEIN almost turns your phone into a professional grade underwater camera. And remember, later in this video, we'll be giving away a brand new DIVEIN housing, so make sure you watch the whole video. And now let's get back to the underwater scooters. As you can see, it's actually the same scooter I have here right now. It's still the LEFEET, but this time with an extended battery. So why do I have the same scooter, same LEFEET here? It's because when you add the extended battery here, it does not only give you extra ride time, it also gives you an extra speed setting. So a fifth, or actually called S gear, so a fast gear, and this is fast. The setup and everything else is the same. The only thing is the battery size and then that extra speed setting, and this is a fast underwater scooter. Now, everything else the same, so I won't cover that, but now let's just see how fast this one is. So LEFEET says it's top speed at 8.3 kilometers an hour. I managed to hit the 25 meters, or do the 25 meters in just 17.4 seconds, giving me a speed of 5.2 kilometers an hour. Carl, he was even faster, blazing through 25 meters in 15.3 seconds. That's 5.9 kilometers an hour. That is flying. That kid was on a roll. In full scuba gear, I did the lap in 26.9 seconds, so that's 3.3 kilometers an hour. In full scuba gear, that's fast. So the extended battery is really giving a lot of fun speed. Actually, as for a single unit, that is the fastest. Of course, doing double power gives different times. We'll cover how the extended battery did as well later on in this video, so make sure you watch the whole thing. The extended battery gave us a run time of just under 30 minutes, and then it kept running again for around 11 minutes. So even though this is much more battery power, it only gave us 30 minutes. How come that? Well, that's of course because that extra speed is using up much more power. LEFEET is claiming 90 minutes on this one if you're running on lower speed settings, so you can still get plenty of time. In terms of the battery size, this one is 106 watt hour. The other one is just under 100 watt hour. Stick around to the end because I'll tell you more about how you can fly with the P1, both the extended battery and also the standard battery. Also, just to give you a quick size comparison, it's about twice the size in terms of size-wise and almost double in battery power. Next underwater scooter is the Waydoo Subnado. The Waydoo is a small compact scooter. It's priced really great and is packing a lot of power. How fast I'll come into in a bit. First, let's just talk about how you use this one. It's not as customizable as the LEFEET P1. For example, you can't remove the battery. This is the size of the unit. It has a handle rail, or you can do it as double. Again, I'm gonna come into the speeds of the double unit later in the video. Then it also has options for leg mounts, tank mounts, or even an arm mount. Now, bit difference in terms of how you use this one. Here you have a wire, as you can see here, that you attach to the unit, and then it's connected to the controller down here. When it's attached to the arm, you have the wire still, but this one is a bit longer, as you can see, giving both pros and cons. You control this, attaching this on your finger, and then you control it with your thumb. Really a nice way of having complete control. There's no wireless, there's no extra charging of the handles, nothing like that. Although you do have a wire that can get tangled in between things when you are using this one. For this, the arm mount, Carl is super happy for this. I promised to tell Waydoo thank you for creating what he calls the arm scooter, because whenever he's in the water with one of these, he'll attach these to the arms, and it gives him this feeling of flying, being Iron Man, Superman, whatever, and seeing him in the water with this attached to his arm is just fantastic. The speed that he can reach on these is amazing. Speaking of speeds, the Waydoo performed really well across the board. I did laps under 25 seconds, so a speed of 3.6 kilometers an hour. Colin did it in 19.6 seconds, so 4.6 kilometers an hour. And in scuba gear, I clocked 33 seconds, so 2.7 kilometers an hour. The battery lasted just under 12 minutes, which is a bit shorter than the promised 56 minutes from Waydoo, but still packing in all that power and running it full speed, it's a solid performance, given the size of the unit. And given that the price of this unit is only $500, making it actually also the cheapest underwater scooter on this list. So you are getting a lot of speed for your money, or a lot of underwater scooter for your money. Same as the LEFEET one, it can be configured as a double scooter. I'll come into that later on, the speeds of this one, but do stay for that one because this is super interesting. Double like this, or double arm scooter as Carl was trying out. Really an interesting thing. Waydoo, for the price and for the speed that you're getting in this one, is super exciting. Also, we do have a full in-depth review of this one that will be coming out real soon, so stay tuned for that. So this is the Asiwo U1. It's a complete different system than what we've been seeing before. Speed, again, I'm going to come into a bit later. That's interesting as well. Handles are attached here on the side compared to kind of everyone else that has like a bend. You're kind of holding it like this, not that it's anything wrong with it, but it's a different way of doing it. It's connecting. We have a small GoPro mount out here as well in the front, so you remove this cover. And then the handles here are connected. There's no battery in this one, there's no controls, but it's controlled magnetic. So you attach this, and then clicking out here, you control the speed. So both buttons here, if you can see that, is on, and then if you want to speed up, you hold the left and then you click the right. And if you want to go down, you hold the right and then you click the left going down. You can't see the speed settings that you're at, but you can feel it depending on how fast it goes. Of course, you have to turn it the right way when you're doing that. There's a small battery indicator light down here. That will help you determine how much battery you have left. Speaking of battery, I'll come into how much battery this one has because that's impressive as well. This unit can be changed a bit as well because this Asiwo U1 is actually also a kayak and paddleboard engine. Compared to some of the other systems where you can use it for paddleboarding, this is actually intended for it as well. So you remove the handles completely, and then you attach a wire here that you attach up to the paddleboard or the kayak, and then you can use that. There's no connection losses or anything. This is really good as a kayak and sub engine. It's also powerful, and what you also do is you actually change down here the setup of how the water is gliding through compared to a boat engine that wants the water flow a bit differently than what you want. It also comes with a really nice traveling case and then a float to it as well. Floats make this a much better tool for kids using this, so it's really nice attaching the floats so anyone can be enjoying that. We'll come into other scooters that has floats on later. So now let's talk about the speeds. I did times of 20.1 seconds, so that's 4.5 kilometers an hour. Carl, he did an impressive 19.2 seconds, so that's 4.7 kilometers an hour. And even in full scuba gear, I reached 30.8 seconds, or I did the lap in 30.8 seconds, so that's 2.9 kilometers an hour. The battery lasted nearly 30 minutes and even ran afterwards for 20 minutes in a battery power saving mode, still quite powerful actually. So you get a lot of speed and power. Plus, this one works for sub-kayaking, which is just a really big plus. So why, in terms of the speed, you might ask, why is this number 4 on the list when it has the power to actually be up higher? Well, there's a few things. It's brand new, just off Kickstarter, which means the full production is not up yet, and there's still some slight minor bugs with this one that kind of makes me want to hold back just a bit. I'm sure the Asiwo U1 is going to be a product we're going to see a lot more in the future, but there are small hiccups for it. One, in terms of controlling the speeds, I don't like that. I can't see the speeds, and that's speeding up a bit. Two, the connection to the kayak sub-pound. I had some issues when actually already a wire breaking, not running that long. It's fixable problems. Often when we get these tests out of Kickstarter, it's the first product lines out of that, which means this is most likely, and whatever bugs they do pick up, they will fix in. So that's a few deal breakers for me, even though I still enjoyed the speed on this one because it is fast. Also, the numbers that we're reporting in this test might be slower than what it's actually doing because this one took actually quite some time speeding up. Once it actually started kicking up, it had this really deep rumbling sound, which is really nice. Carl referred to this as the spaceship and really enjoyed it. So it's a warm recommendation for this for the unit itself. You just has to be aware of some bugs for it. Next up is the K5 Edge Smart Drive. At just 4.5 pounds, 2.2 kilos, this is, I think, one of the lightest. I think the Waydoo is a bit lighter, but small, compact. You can take the battery apart here, quite simple, so it doesn't pack up that much speed. So it's nice, portable, easy to use. Controller here, you turn it on with a thumb. That's also how you control the speeds, and then you control the speeds with your index finger. There's a small light here that shows the battery and also the speed settings. And it has 3 speed settings, normal, sport, and S+. Not knowing what S+ means, I'm guessing it's Sports Plus mode. This is a simpler version of all the other underwater scooters, but it's still doing quite well. The company is claiming a top speed of 7 kilometers an hour. We did not match that completely. I did times of 29.5 seconds, so that's 3.1 kilometers an hour. Carl, he did 21.8 seconds, so 4.1 kilometers an hour. And in full scuba gear, it dropped down to 51.6 seconds, so that speeds around 1.7 kilometers an hour. It offers a battery range of 18 to 60 minutes, depending on the speed settings, of course. We did 19 minutes on our battery test before it ran down to low power modes, which is quite interesting that we're actually outperforming what the company is saying. That's a first and really nice to see. It's small, it's compact, and it's priced in around $900 currently when we're doing this review, which makes it a really interesting buy as well. Next up on the list is the LEFEET S1 Pro, a lightweight scooter weighing just 5.5 pounds, 2.5 kilos. Before we jump into the speeds of this one doing it, both works similar to the LEFEET P1, as you can say, but this is a cheaper option. So this is the first version that LEFEET did, and then they build up with LEFEET P1. Still, I think there's a reason for this one to stay in production, and LEFEET has kept it in production. It works a lot of the same ways. You have the rail here that you can mount either as a single rail, a double rail. I'll come into the speed settings for this one later, or you can do a one-handed rails, tank attachments, you name it. Again, connected wirelessly here to the unit. It's easy to connect, and it's easy to control speeds. Handling it works the same. You have a thumb index to turn off on handle and control the speeds, and then the trigger is up here. There's even a lock mechanism so you can lock it. And then down here we're showing the speed settings and battery life. It's much more simple. It doesn't have the screen as we know from the LEFEET P1, but it has small LEDs that will indicate the light. It's quite simple to use and operate. So you lift up this battery, which is not actually doing anything in terms of keeping water out, but then down here you lift up this lid, and herein you have the battery. Easy to take it out, charge it, put it back in, attach it. There's really no fuss about that, and it's so easy that even the kids can do it. Price-wise, it's quite friendly as well. And then one of the things I love the most about this is actually this small shark float. My kids have had tons of fun with this one, swimming around with the float, enjoying the time, staying on top. And because this float really helps them, especially my daughter when she was around 4 or 5, we were playing around in the pool and she was using this one. My son wouldn't mind so much using one without a float, but my daughter at that age didn't like it without the float, so this was the one she would stick to. Now let's take a look at the speed, because I know that's why you're here. So LEFEET doesn't list the official top speed on their website, so we actually don't know, but I did times of 29.5 seconds, so that's 3.1 kilometers an hour. Carl, he did it fast at 23.1 seconds for the 25 meters, giving it a speed of 3.9 kilometers an hour. And in full scuba gear, I managed 47.7 seconds, so that's 1.9 kilometers an hour. As you can see, not the fastest of the scooters, but still a fast and fun underwater scooter. The battery lasted around 10 minutes, full speed, which is slightly below the 35 minutes that the company is promising, but still a promising and solid performance compared to the price you're paying and all the options that you're getting. What I really liked about the S1 is the modularity. All the accessories, all the ways you can modulate this, the shark floats, anything in it. Double scooters is also a lot better in terms of speed. So now we're coming into that. Let's take a look at how these ones react or perform when attached as double scooters. As I promised earlier in the video, I was going to talk about how these ones perform when they're attached as double scooters. So for the double configurations, we looked at the LEFEET P1, that's this one I have here. We looked at the LEFEET S1 Pro right here, and then we looked at the Waydoo as double configurations. And they are performing differently, and you can see quite interesting difference in it. First up, let's run through the LEFEET P1. That's the one I have right in front of me here. As you can see, you can actually configure this as a standard battery or as an extended battery. You probably saw before when I was doing the LEFEET P1 extended battery review, I actually had 2 extended batteries attached to this one. While we did the test, I actually did not. I had 1 and then 2 standard batteries. So we did the test as a standard battery, and then we did it with 1 extended battery and 1 standard battery. I will update you later on. I'll probably throw up a short once I've had both the extended batteries on a double scooter out tested while I can do some timing in a 25-meter pool. So make sure you subscribe and check out the short videos coming up, because you can see, and I'm guessing that will be the max speed that we can actually achieve, given that the LEFEET P1 extended battery is the fastest scooter. I'm guessing 2 of them is going to be even faster. For the LEFEET P1 standard battery, I did 17.9 seconds for 25 meters. That's really fast for me, reaching a speed of 5 kilometers an hour. Carl, on the other hand, he passed that in 15.7 seconds, so that's 5.7 kilometers an hour. And in full scuba gear, I managed to do speeds or times of 25.8 seconds, so that's 3.5 kilometers an hour. With the 1 extended battery giving extra speed, I did times of 15.2 seconds, so 5.9 kilometers an hour. and Carl, he did 15 seconds, so 6 kilometers an hour. Now you might be wondering, why are the speeds here different? And by the way, we didn't do it in full scuba gear. It was getting late and we actually didn't have more time, so we ended the test, but you can probably guess around how fast that will be. Also, I think here is where data comes in and becomes a problem, because Carl didn't do much faster than I did. And I think that's because once we are timing in, starting up, there might be a small delay. That will affect when we're down to shorten time. And also in that speed, when we're at the end, you really want to make sure to let go before you actually slam into the end. So that might have affected the speed coming out of the LEFEET P1 and that double speed. Just keep in mind, 15.9 seconds for me, 15 seconds for Carl. That's blazing fast. So much fun. You are flying. I had to tie in my bathing shorts even tighter because otherwise they were flying off. No one wants to see that. Now let's take a look at the LEFEET S1 Pro double. I did times of 20.3 seconds, so that's 4.4 kilometers an hour. Carl, he did 20.1, so that's almost the same, 4.5 kilometers an hour. And in full scuba gear, I did it in 27.7 seconds, so 3.2 kilometers an hour. As you can see, quite a lot faster than the 1 unit, but still a bit slower than the P1, also given that this is a newer scooter. Let's take a look at the Waydoo Subnado double. So it performed really well, particularly with Carl. I managed times of 19.7 seconds, and that's 4.6 kilometers an hour. Carl, he achieved 14.4 seconds, and that's 6.3 kilometers an hour. And in scuba gear, I did times of 28.2 seconds, or 3.2 kilometers an hour. Now, how come Carl actually broke the records of this one and not this one? Well, I'm not sure. There can be, of course, errors in our data. We did it multiple times, but still, there's a lot of how you use these ones. Carl, he actually attached these two to his arm and used it as arm scooters because that's what he's been used to with this one. So he didn't have the rail, and he's been using this a lot. So he's really common to use it. And also having that, he could touch with his hands while still running it. I think that's a reason. The other reason is this is a really fast underwater scooter, and pushing Carl's weight, when you have a smaller jet or impeller down here, and pushing a smaller person is really what these are made for, where these are probably better at pushing larger objects. Keep in mind, P1, Waydoo, S1 Pro, it's all really fast scooters. You're gonna get so much fun no matter which one you buy. It's a matter of small preferences. And then of course, how are you gonna fly with them? Because that's the next part we're gonna get to, as I promised, like a bonus section, how you fly with underwater scooters. All right, now it's time to talk about how you can get your hands on a DIVEIN housing. The one I have right here, brand new to you. So to win one of these DIVEIN housings, all you have to do is these simple steps. First off, like the video, subscribe to the channel. It really helps us out a lot. Second, subscribe to our newsletter. It's the first link in the description below. It's also where we'll announce the winners. And then last, comment below telling us where you would like to take the DIVEIN housing and which underwater scooter you would like to bring as well. And if you want to know more about the DIVEIN, there's links in the description below. And we also secured you an exclusive discount code you can use if you're buying a DIVEIN housing or you're looking for accessories as well. So follow the link in the description below. As I promised, now it's time to talk about how you fly with an underwater scooter. So if you're planning bringing your underwater scooters for your next trip, there's some things you need to be careful of. So here's the deal. These scooters are really awesome, but it can be a bit tricky to get them in the air, as you probably noticed. And that's thanks to the battery, not really so much the scooter, but the battery. So make sure that you check up on this so you can get it on the plane and back home again without any issues. So most airlines have strict rules. If your battery is under 100 watt hour, you're good to go. You can bring it on a plane. Between 100 and 160 watt hour, some airlines allow it. Most of them are doing it nowadays, but you need to make sure that you read up on it and might also need pre-approval. So check up with the airline before you go. More than 160 watt hour, you won't be able to get them on. You can get them on as special package, but that will be expensive, so don't go there. Even if you've flown with the same underwater scooter before on a previous airline, make sure you check up and double check the rules are still the same and check the TSA guidelines on the airport you're flying out through before you're packing in. Also make sure that you check up from the airline you're flying back home with that they have the same rules. So when it comes to packing, you want to keep the batteries in your carry-on luggage. Never check them, they won't allow it. Make sure you protect the poles. So some of these batteries come with protective cases. This is the charging case, but it will also protect the poles. It will even work as a backup power, so you can return charge, so you can use this as a power bank. Some of these just have a standard cap that you can cover in, or anything to cover up the poles so you don't have a short circuit in here. When you bring it on, always take it out when you're going through the x-rays. You know, seeing one of these scooters in a bag through the x-ray, think of the eyes the TSA agent's gonna take a look at the shape of this one. It doesn't look like anything you should be bringing on a plane. So take it out, show the batteries, tell them what it is. You know, a little patience goes a long way, and most of these times they will get to, I've flown with all of these underwater scooters and it's a blast. So for the scooters that has the built-in batteries, check the watt hour that's printed on the side. If it doesn't have a printed text with the battery size, don't bring it, because you won't be able to prove the battery size of it. So make sure it meets the airline standard. Printing out the airline's battery policy before you go is a smart move. If there's any confusion in the security check, you will have proof that and their guidelines, and you can kind of follow that. And the TSA makes the first call, but you might actually, if they don't allow it, be able to speak to the airline if you have time for that. Problem is also a lot of the times when you're checking in on a plane, you don't have that much time. So there might be cases where you don't have time to start arguing with them before your plane leaves. So, and if you are arguing, it might be costing you a underwater scooter. At the end of the video, I promised as well, I wanted to talk to you a bit about which underwater scooters that we tested that I wouldn't recommend. So a bunch of these are scooters that we tested that didn't make it into the test. One of them are really bad, some of them are okay, but I wouldn't recommend them compared to the other scooters in the test. So these are units that you'll see a lot of different designs on, particularly the ones I have here. They're not bad in terms of speed. They are really bad in terms of size and usability. And it's really like, I think, an Alibaba design. You can buy it and print any label on it and you're good to go. I have same design, 2 different brands. I've seen it in a bunch of other brand. So it's not a design I would recommend. I've used it, I've tried it, I did not like it. I even got my finger stuck in the propeller because it jumped out and still kept running. We got the Aquamarinas here, they're really good. It's actually a nice underwater scooter. They have light options as well. Battery didn't last that long and the power wasn't that good. So it's not that it's not a good scooter. If you have it, I'm sure you're gonna like it. I just would recommend some of the other scooters that we just tested in here. T White Shark is a good scooter. We just have other better options. One of the ones I would never recommend you buying is this design. This is, I'm thinking a 90s design. I've seen it throughout my whole scuba career, this design of an underwater scooter. Now things are, they're still selling these now. It used to be under the Yamaha brand, now it's under a different brand, but it's the same manufacturer, same scooter, and it's outdated. So whenever you see these designs, when you see them on sales, go far away from them because they are slow. Batteries is not flyable. It's not easy to charge. They don't last that long, and all in all, they're heavy and cumbersome, and it's not a good scooter. There's plenty of other underwater scooters you can grab. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you do like what we're doing here, think about subscribing, giving the video a thumbs up. If you have any questions to the test or whatever we're doing, ask us in the comments. We'd love to get back to you. We'd love your feedback on it. Also, if you stuck around this long, do subscribe to that video.